the Jewish food can basically, just because the people are Jewish and they're making something, automatically it kind of says, therefore Jewish. But is it kosher? No, not necessarily. She could make something kosher, but not necessarily. Okay, what we did here is I took the 2 eggs and put them in 2 cups of milk and with a 1/3 of a cup of sugar, and added a 1/4 cup of the raisins. I use the golden raisins. They're often a little bit softer than I found. I don't know if that's just the processing. It seems to me that they could process them the same way and they should be just as plump, but these have a tendency to be a little plump. Now the recipe also said to put the spices in here. If you put the spices in here, it'll distribute themselves by the liquid. But if you sprinkle them on the top, it looks nicer. I can do both. So you've got a little bit of an option there when you make this. And this is just whisked together.
Is that what you call a whisker?
Yeah. You could call it that.
Okay. I just wondered.
Or the person that's
if you
doing
didn't
it.
shave
would
this
be-
morning, you could call it a whisker.
Yeah.
The person that's doing it could be called the whisker as well, couldn't he?
Yeah.
So then you pour the milk with the eggs and the raisins on top of it, and then I added the spices. Now when you get it this way, you'll have the spices on top. And it doesn't look a whole lot different after it's cooked. 350 for about 40 minutes. Now, it starts to get a little brown around the edges here, a little bit on the top, but not much. If I was doing this at home and I have a broiler, I think I'd probably flip it on broil for the last couple of minutes just to kind of brown the top here a little bit, get a little bit of glaze. But since we don't have a broiler here at the church, and one thing about using this church oven is it gets really hot. You turn it on 350, you got 350. I usually put it on the higher racks. If anybody ever cooks here, you put them on the higher racks. You put it on the bottom racks, and that's going to get hot really fast. Might cook it too fast on the bottom. In fact, a couple weeks ago, I was going to do some extra cinnamon rolls for you guys, and they burned. Boy, they burned. It was fast. I mean, the thing was listed for, I think it was 12 to 15 minutes, and 10 minutes, those bottoms were already burnt, you know, so it's fast, you gotta watch it. And this particular type of food, it could handle the heat a little bit better, as you can see, and we didn't have any problem with it. So, we've got ourselves some bread pudding here. But I always, you know, whenever you see bread pudding served in a restaurant or any place, I've never seen it served alone. Have you ever had it served by itself? I think it's ever served by itself. So I had to bring some ice cream. I mean, if you're a purist,
That's a dirty shame.
if you're a purist like Doug, and you don't want the ice cream, it's okay. I'm sure George will take his share.
Yeah, right.
I think he's lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
Because one head on each person.
Oh, I see. It purifies the food. What do you guys want? Oh, they'll serve it, they'll bring it to you.
You're taking the non-sticky
What
job.
you need to do.
That's a good job.
Yeah, right.
I'm not a six woman's job, I just have dibs.
Okay, we're still in chapter 44, which is okay. This entire chapter has been focused on idolatry. It has, you know, it has given a lot of examples and given a lot of time to it, and really trying to make a point of the issue of idolatry. In verse 11 it says, people who do that will put to shame such craftsmen are only human beings. Let them come together and take their stand. They will be brought down to care and shame. The workmen, they are mere men. Isaiah looks at people who make idols and notices that they themselves are only weak, frail men. When all people come face to face with God, it will be a day of shame for those who have rejected Him in their life.
Is that the NIV version?
Yes, NIV.
I have NIV too, and I have different words.
Here we have.
Beginning of verse 11, it says the same thing, but the words say, he and his kind will be put to shame. Craftsmen are nothing but men.
And his kind will be put to shame.
The word such is not in there, and he and his instead of people.
Instead of terror and shame, it says terror and infamy.
Yeah, question.
It's meaning there.
Yeah, the means the same.
That's what we did, this was the sixth one.
But it
It
doesn't
could have
work.
been, what I do is I go back and forth usually when I'm pulling this up,
Or you might
at
have
Gateway,
different,
Gateway Bible, and sometimes
well, that makes
if
sense.
I'm not careful, I try to constantly watch.
Right.
But they've got, I don't know how many, 500 different types of Bibles in there.
Wow.
And it will, if I'm not careful, it can switch over to another translation. So it's possible as
Probably
to
That would
lasted
explain it.
for about
Yeah.
5 minutes.
those.
Are we done?
Okay.
See, the blue, what does that mean again?
Well, this-
Means that A and B.
Yeah, when we were doing the Assyrian, when we were early on in this, I actually designated A for a reference, anything reference to Assyrian. But now, once we've gotten past 35 into 40, this just becomes a general commentary. Glad you brought that up.
Well, I was looking at the blue section where it says the workmen, they are mere men. I wonder if that's kind of that comment comes out of the idea that the craftsmen who made the idols might have thought they enjoyed a higher status or something like that. And thus giving idols a little more credibility, when really,
It's possible, yeah.
I'd be stretched there, but
Yeah, it's possible that instead of being a slave, they are a craftsman, and a little higher up on the social scale there.
I think in ancient Egypt, they were, the ones that make the bas-reliefs and
Yeah.
they would have the formal communication
Yeah.
on the walls, enjoy it a little.
Yeah, a little bit
Higher
more
status,
status.
yeah.
Than just a mere slave
Uh,
dragging a rock. Yes, yeah. And if they, the problem would actually be is if they thought they had that.
Yes.
I am better than the rest of these guys because I'm a craftsman. Yeah. When all people come face to face with God, it will be a day of shame for those who have rejected Him in their life. And of course, in this statement here, it just says all people. It makes no distinction there of rank or stature of any kind. A blacksmith